September the 2nd, 1984, Weldon Road, Castleford, for the opening league match of the season between Castleford and Wigan. Beautiful summer afternoon, the grass looking very lush even after this long dry spell. It's very warm and it will probably take its toll of the players and be sapping the strength because it's a very, very warm, very muggy afternoon. The Castleford team for this afternoon's game is at full-back number 1 Rookley, 2 Roach, 3 Fenton, 4 Marchant and 5 Finch. The half-backs number 6 John Joyner and number 7 Robert Beardmore. Number 8 Connell, number 9 Horton, number 10 Johnson. 11 James, 12 Ward, 13 England, and the subs are Cohen and Mountain. The Wigan team for today, Sean Edwards back into action after his injury in Australia. Sean Edwards at number 1 full-back. John Ferguson, the new signing from New Zealand. I see in this morning's paper they're now referring to him as Rocket Man. John Ferguson at number 2. Number 3, David Stevenson. Number 4, Colin Whitfield. And 5, Dennis Ramsdale. At half-back, Wigan have Cannon and Fairhurst. In the front row, we have Courtney. The last time Courtney was here, he got a very, very serious injury, and it was thought at first that he wouldn't ever play again. However, he's back into the Wigan team at number 8. Paul O'Neill, the new signing from Salford, playing his first league match for Wigan. At hooker, Brian Case back from tour at number 10. Number 11 is Potter. Number 12, the Wigan captain, Graham West. Pendlebury at loose forward, and the Wigan subs are Juliff and Dunn. The referee this afternoon is Mr. Kershaw of Easingwold. Coming out to the centre now to get to the teams in action. Warm, sunny day. As Graham West comes up to meet Barry Johnson, the Castleford captain. Large Wigan contingent here this afternoon, a lot of cherry and white jerseys. Wigan got very good support, a lot of coaches coming across on the motorway and a lot of cars parked on the club car park here with cherry and white favours. And it will be Castleford to start the game. Castleford playing from the left to the right. Pitch doesn't look very long. It doesn't seem to be as long as the Central Park pitch, to which we're more accustomed. Beardmore, the scrum half. Bang on 3:30. Kershaw blows for Beardmore to come out. Tries a deep one. Potter doesn't take it cleanly at the first attempt. Running into the forwards, being mauled about, having been buried on the 3 forwards. O'Neill, short pass on to Case. Case running straight at them. Burrows his way a couple of yards. Now Courtney coming straight and hard onto it. Wigan keeping it tight in the forwards in these early stages. It goes out to Ferris. Now they're moving it. Cannon puts a kick behind the defence, and it's a very good kick, a long-ranging kick. Just bounces in the field of play and into touch. 7 or 8 yards outside the Castleford 25. So we come to the first scrum of the game. Wigan had all the possession so far from the kick-off. As Beardmore referee on the narrow side of the field making the props switch position. Goes in. Coming out to Castleford rather slowly. Beardmore gets it moving. Wingman come in, tall, rangy lad. Castleford then with it for the first time. Forwards coming in hard, and Wigan moved in very, very quickly there. Good tackling by Potter. Beardmore moving it out onto Connell. Connell driving very hard, big strong lad, drives it up to the halfway line. Plays it back to Horton. Horton moving it across. Coming to Ward. Ward trying to come through the middle, but smothered by Wigan on the halfway line, taken by Graham West. Horton acting half-back, moving it across. Beardmore hands it on to loose forward. Oh, he nearly had his head taken off there. Touch judges on. One went low, one went high. Well, I would have thought that the referee would have seen that too, but he was letting the play go on, and the touch judges come on to give the first penalty to Castleford. Wasn't round the head, but it was very close to the neckline as Wigan went in there, and it's Horton coming up into the Wigan 25 line to restart the game. On to Ward. Ward driving in very strongly. Ferrers taking, just knock him off. Wigan will try and bungle him over the line, but they can't quite get him in. Horton waiting for the play of the ball. And the ball's gone loose, been quickly snapped up by Case for Wigan. Quickly on the loose ball, bad play of the ball. And the touch judge is signalling that Case lost the ball, and it's a scrum down. Not too happy with that. Case thinks he had the ball taken off him. Referee on the close side of the field, and the put in is being given to Beardmore. Puts it in, coming out quickly onto Joyner. Joyner doing the run around with Beardmore. Beardmore sees a gap. Cannon managed to close it with the help of Pendlebury. Roach waiting for the play of the ball. Out to Joyner. Rather lob pass. There's a big overlap. And Wigan did well to move in there. Whitfield did well to come in and stop that. There's a big overlap. Paul going hard onto Ward. Ward trying to batter his way over. Wigan having great difficulty holding him on the line. And it's all Castleford at the moment, driving hard into the Wigan defence. Long pass. Beardmore juggles with the ball, doesn't take it cleanly. Still on his feet, and Castleford lost a certain amount of ground there. Horton waiting for the play of the ball. Out to Johnson. Johnson moves across to Joyner. Joyner a short one on to come in, intercepted by Cannon. Just flicked the ball without looking, and Cannon was in the line out to relieve Wigan from a very desperate situation. Now it's Case trying to clear the lines, coming in hard, keeping it tight in his own 25. O'Neill waiting for the play of the ball. Going round the narrow side to West, and West coming in hard, runs into Fenton. The cover comes over to smother Graham West. The touch judge is on, bit of lying on at the play of the ball. I think Connell might get cautioned here for it. Connell penalised. Relief for Wigan. 8 yards in from the touchline, just outside their own 25. Whitfield, a good long kick, finds touch, 12 yards inside the Castleford half, and that's brought Wigan away from a very sticky situation. O'Neill coming up, has Courtney with him. Courtney going to take them on, just going straight at the forwards, going to die with the ball. Sorting each other's out at the moment as Penbury does a run around with Ferrers. Ferrers coming back inside. Wigan quickly smothered there as the Castleford defence moves up quickly. O'Neill onto Potter. Potter running rather crossfield, looking for support inside. Gets it onto Cannon. Cannon dumbing with it, running into his own player. Brings it nearly up to the 25. O'Neill waiting for the play of the ball. O'Neill out to Pendlebury. Pendlebury taking them on, trying to go through. On his own, he's lost the ball. It's gone forward. So it'll be a scrum down, and the Pendlebury just dropped to the ball there, not given with any direction or any speed to any Wigan player, and so the knock-on is given. And once again, I think this is probably the third scrum that Beardmore has had the feeding, and each time he's got it out. In again, and this time it's shot out to Wigan, but the referee said it's not come out behind the pack, got to go in again. Beardmore puts it in once more, and this time it's coming out to Beardmore. And all he can do is fall on it as the Wigan pack breaks quickly, and he's smothered by Potter. Horton coming through, slips, attacked in half-back. Beardmore waiting for the play of the ball, moving it on to Ward. Ward, big, strong, hefty forward, gets away from Wigan tackling there. Comes on to Johnson. Johnson moves it across onto James. Wigan tackling well at the moment as Horton moves it on to Johnson. Johnson across the line onto Joyner. Joyner turning back onto Beardmore, and the referee says it's a forward pass. As Potter and Pendlebury in very quickly and very hard there. Took him well. In fact, they knocked the ball out of his hand with the force of the tackle. Graham West calming Pendlebury down. Little bit niggled at something that happened in the tackle there. And for the first time, Wigan will be feeding the scrum. Front row's a little bit reluctant to meet. Castleford's head still up. Ball's in quick, out to Wigan. Cannon, a long pass on to Edwards. Edwards gets it out onto Stevenson. Stevenson bringing his wingman inside. Ferguson's first touch of the ball. Didn't get very far. There was bags of cover there. Long pass to Fairhurst. First to Pendlebury. Pendlebury running back inside, running into them. Wigan line out very bunched and rather shallow that time. As O'Neill gets it out to Fairhurst. Fairhurst onto West. West goes striding in, long leg, dragging them with him. 3 forwards hold of him, and eventually legs up in the air. Connell hanging on to him, and he's rolled over like a Swiss roll. Not yielding an inch, and a penalty given to Wigan. Now West is threatening. There was a lot of mauling going on in that tackle, and Castleford were lying up very, very flat for the play of the ball. So Wigan have a chance to open the score. Johnson coming over to have a word with the referee, patting him on the bum. Fairly straight kick this for Pendlebury, slightly to the left of the post. A couple of yards or so to the left. Touch judge wanting Castleford to go back the 10 yards. Intervened in play a couple of times already, the touch judge on this side of the field, Mr. Reid, seeming very keen and wanted to be noticed. Eight minutes of the first half gone as Pendlebury slightly around the corner. And he's pulled it, I think, pulled it. Hooked the ball across the near side of the post. So it'll be a drop out from the Castleford 25. Wigan missed a good chance there, an easy chance of going into the lead. That's Finch, very tall. Played in the second row, I think, at one time, didn't he, this Finch? Very tall lad out on the wing, was second row at one time, can really move. Drops out, it's an awkward one. Bounces nicely eventually for Ferguson, coming running in hard, well tattled by Ward. Clean, low, hard tattle. And the referee said he lay on afterwards. Penalty to Wigan, just in from the touchline, not a lot of angle for. And it's Stevenson who's going to take it. Takes the play, 8 yards inside the Castleford half. Well, the last time Wigan were here, they got absolutely massacred, but so far this afternoon, it's rather a different story. It's even Stevens at the moment as it comes to Fairhurst moving in across. Cannon onto Stevenson. Stevenson running back into it, trying to straighten up the line. Wigan were not moving onto the ball, suddenly had to go forward, and it's Case who decides he's going to run at them straight. Usual game, going in hard. Fairhurst waiting first pass. Hands it on to Cannon. Nobody coming onto it hard till it gets to West. And West came tearing into that. Was met by 3 forwards. O'Neill knocked on behind the play of the ball. Referee missed it. Comes to Potter. Potter a long one out to Ramsdale. Ramsdale knocks one off. But Roach hangs on to his ankle and he can't get moving. Whitfield waiting for the play of the ball to Fairhurst. Fairhurst to Cannon. Cannon to Courtney, Wigan not moving onto the ball, they're just moving across the field, and that's the 5th tackle, no ground gain, as Cannon now decides he'll kick behind the defence, and it's a good kick on the last tackle, pushes Castleford back into their own 25, and Wigan coming more and more into this game territorially. Had a rough opening few minutes when Castleford really piled on the pressure, but Wigan withstood it well, and are now coming back and are doing most of the attacking. Castleford to feed, and natural referee's not having that one, got to go in again. Castleford should have it out, and it shoots out the Castleford side, comes on to Jordan. There's a big gap here, the fullback links up, Edwards comes across well, takes his opposite number, lets him go again. Determined running by Rookley. Wigan going to get penalised for Potter going in. Ferguson notably had come in well from the wing, having spotted the danger. Sean Edward taking his man well, and then he bounced and let him get up again. And so it's Finch to kick for touch. Good long kick that. Very good kick indeed by Rookley. Brings play to 12 yards from the Wigan line, bringing Castleford once again into a strong attacking position. Horton takes it. Short pass forward. Ward trying to batter his way through. And Johnson's come over to go acting half-back. Johnson gets it, a long pass. And another pass on to Joyner. Wigan are stretched here. And going low. Whitfield couldn't take his man first time, but the cover came over to complete the tattle as Beardmore moves it out to Joyner. Joyner coming hard down the centre, slips it nicely onto the hooker, who's stopped just a few yards from the Wigan line. Joyner split Wigan wide open there. Long pass and a big overlap. Here's the fullback, goes for the line, and a beautiful defensive tackle by Ramsdale. But Wigan in a lot of trouble here. The ball's coming out to the wing, forward trying to force his way over. James held up right on the Wigan line. Wigan defending desperately as the overhead kick comes here to Cannon. Oh, that was well taken. Jordan offside. It was nicely worked, but the referee judged that Joyner was offside as he snatched the ball out of Cannon's hand. That is a real let-off for Wigan. Nicely judged kick by Beardmore, well taken by Joyner. Wigan got away with it again as touch is found. Wigan to restart on their own 25 line. That was very close. O'Neill takes the tap. Courtney puts his shoulder in. Dies under all the front row. O'Neill again. This time it's Case. Once again the forwards are in hard to bury him. Wigan grovelling the way forward at the moment. O'Neill to Courtney. Courtney running rather wide there and sideways. An easy target. Horton swung and hit his own player. O'Neill switch of direction to Cannon. Cannon on to West. West puts his shoulder in. And Wigan are still dragging away. Powerful run there. Ramsdale thought a fist had gone into West. Oh, and West is playing powerful stuff. Really driving. A great run that by Graham West. To Cannon. To Pendlebury. Right in the Wigan line. Castleford lost a lot of ground there as Castleford moved up like greyhounds out of a trap, and that's the fifth tattle. Wigan lost a lot of ground after that powerful running by Graham West. To Cannon. Cannon puts a little overhead kick, but it's not going to be effective. It's taken by Connell. Connell, they're having a job putting him down. Case eventually helped by Podder, who forces him down to the ground. Beardmore waiting for the in what is a terribly hard game as England running hard and wide. Cannon has him and wraps him up. Roach waiting for the play of the ball to Beardmore. Beardmore to Ward. Ward trying to straighten. Wigan quickly into the line out, forcing them back inside as Horton goes acting half-back. Moves it on to Johnson. Johnson to Joyner. Break here by the second row man. Ferguson coming inside and taking the ball off him. Astute football in that. Comes inside. Case running at them, taking them on, going in hard. Not denting this strong Castleford defence at the moment. O'Neill to Pendlebury. Pendlebury to Courtney. Courtney running straight at them, turning and twisting, but can't get through these two front row men. O'Neill to Pendlebury. Pendlebury holding it, decides he's going to make a jinking run down the middle, and once again he dies under this defensive of these forwards. O'Neill going on his own onto Potter. Potter coming strongly, can't get rid of the ball and he's lost it, and Joyner thankfully drops on it. Potter trying to move it there. The idea was there, the arms were just held too tightly. The ball went astray, and here's Finch goes striding in. Very long-legged left wingman. And now it's Castleford who looking rather bunch as Johnson sends a long pass out to England, which he misses. Taken by Rookley, the fullback. Rookley plays the ball. Loose forward England trying to come through, looking for support. Managed to get his pass into Horton. Horton slips the ball, but Case is there to hang on to Beardmore. Rookley moves the ball across. Johnson onto Joyner, and the break here by Marchant. Marchant coming strongly, gets round Edwards. Ferguson taking in, ball's loose, and the cover there takes Johnson on the Wigan 25. Beardmore and Castleford hoisting up and under with Wigan out of defence. I think that ball's got awkward over the line. Ferguson takes it cleanly and is forced over the dead ball line. Well, Ferguson has shown an awful lot of good football sense in his positional plays. Been coming, leaving his wing and coming inside just when it's been very badly needed. And a couple of times now Wigan have been under extreme pressure from this Castleford time. Castleford really pressured Wigan on the try line. Wigan never really got near the Castleford line so far as Rookley runs it out, looking for support. Finch coming in very strongly, and Wigan player hurt in that tackle. The ball comes loose and goes on to Horton. Wigan backpedaling as Ward goes turning in strongly. Wigan having a lot of trouble putting him down. A lot of power and strength in these Castleford forwards. Horton to Johnson. Johnson a long one to Beardmore. Beardmore to Joyner. A big overlap on the far wing. And Stevenson stitches that one up well. Closed that gap nicely. Ball switched onto Fenton. Fenton made a break. Onto the loose forward. He's looking for support. Gets it onto James. And James is over. Wigan defence all at sea as James puts Castleford into a 4-0 lead. Couldn't stand the pressure. 17 minutes gone, and Wigan have been having a lot of trouble pulling the men down, and eventually the gaps appeared for James to open the scoring. Wigan having a bit of a powwow behind the line there. Castleford looking the stronger, more effective team in this first 20 minutes. Every man Jack coming in extremely hard, running very powerfully. All these Castleford lads seem to be extremely strong. Lifted it high, but it's going across the face of the post. Just missed, lifted it too high. So we come back to the centre. Wigan nearly halfway through this first half, 4 points behind. And never really had Castleford in trouble. For quite a while there, they had the game territorially, but they didn't seem to be able even to dent the defence. Pendlebury missed a fairly easy penalty early on. Apart from that, Wigan really haven't looked like scoring as Pendlebury comes out towards the Castleford. No, he kicks it straight down the field, trying to get it dead. Takes it in his in goal area. Grave danger of rolling over the dead ball line there, but Rookley runs it out cleanly. So we're in the Castleford 25. Joyner timing his pass nicely there. And the ball's gone loose. Wigan fortunate to get that. There was some rather weak tackling by some of the Wigan players then. Goes to O'Neill. O'Neill on to West. West gets it out nicely onto Case. Case trying to drag his way through. Gets out of one tackle. Managed to move it to Courtney. To Ferris, who's smothered under three Castleford players. The Castleford defence is very, very quick and very strong. O'Neill to Courtney. Courtney turning, gets it onto Potter. Potter taken round the ankles, can't get away from that sort of tackling by James. O'Neill out to Pendlebury. Pendlebury coming hard and straight, trying to drag his way over the 25 line. Arms smothered. Castleford screwing him there in the tackle. Wigan not moving on to the ball. Been 5 passes and all they've done is lost ground and lost the ball, and Wigan in trouble as it comes out to wingman Roach. Roach cutting inside. Ferguson's come across from the other wing again, extremely intelligently to smother him. Goes inside onto Fenton. Fenton moving it across. Joyner switches direction. Wigan missed a tackle, badly missed tackle by Fergus then. Looking rather tired as the ball's played back to Horton. Horton forward's going to batter the way over. Wigan struggling on their own line. Ball been dropped by the loose forward. And over the... Referee's given the knock on. I think Wigan were hoping that it might have been given as a dead ball. So Wigan going to have to scrum down 5 metres out from their own line. England nearly over there from loose forward. Dropped the ball just short of the line. And Wigan's defence in tatters. In other heads, Fergus to feed the scrum. Back not straight. And penalty to Wigan for Castleford. Down on the floor. The referee said they weren't up, so that'll be relief for Wigan if they can get it into touch. Whitfield hoists a very high long ball, almost up to the halfway line. Good clearing kick by Whitfield. O'Neill has Courtney and West with him. It's Courtney who's going to take them on. lost the ball in the tattle. Quickly turned into attack as Beardmore goes attacking down the left wing onto fullback Rookley. Rookley's cleanly tattled there. Good tattle that by Whitfield. Now it's Horton running up with the Wigan defence. Wigan standing waiting for him. Beardmore waiting for the play of the ball. Switches it to Joyner. Joyner runs into Stevenson and Pendlebury and they smother him. Fenton waiting for the play of the ball. Moves it across to Beardmore onto Johnson. Run around worked on there. Big strong forwards. Let the ball go. Case is in there quickly to take his man. Johnson waiting for the play of the ball. Onto Connell. Open side prop goes in. Looks as if he went in with a forearm and O'Neill had a job taking him. To Beardmore. Beardmore moving across to Johnson. To Joyner. It's a big over. His ball's been loose. Wigan should be on this. And Whitfield has it. Referee's given him offside. Bounced off Ramsdale and Whitfield was in front of him. Little bit unlucky, but I think the referee was correct. Whitfield was in front of him. Lucky one that for Castleford. They had lost possession. Beardmore decides they're going to go for the try. He puts the ball close into the Wigan line, 12 yards out. Wigan had to do some desperate tackling in this half. Horton coming up now to take the tap onto Ward. Ward goes driving in. Graham West goes in low and he's forced down to the ground. Horton again going through from acting half back, followed by Potter. Now it's Beardmore. Beardmore switching direction. Johnson holding it, brings Joyner back inside. Joyner seeming to mesmerise the Wigan team. James moves it across. Beardmore, a long one to Marchant. Marchant being held round the ankles, turns it back inside to Beardmore. Beardmore does a reverse pass onto Connell. Connell driving hard. Furrest and Pendlebury having an awful job putting him down. And at the moment it's all Castleford as it goes on to Ward. Ward driving him powerful forward onto James. James gets, and his ball's been lost. Referee said it's a forward pass, but Wigan really in desperate trouble on their own line. Several very narrow misses. The Castleford player hurt. Trainer having to come on. Pack being held up. Well, Beardmore, no, it's not Beardmore. Rookley, I think it's the fullback. Ball's out to Wigan, referee says got to go in again. Rookley receiving attention, the fullback. And penalised for an incorrect feeding. Ball back, Castleford wanted to get on with it quickly, and they do. Beardsmore dumbing with it, there's a gap a mile wide there, and that was well spotted. Very well spotted by Stevenson. Cannon makes a break, tries to get Ferguson moving, but he was being taken as he was receiving the ball. Cannon onto Pendlebury. Pendlebury's trying to drive his way out of trouble, gets over the 25 line. Now it's Case running into the defence, ploughs his way forward 10 yards. Fairhurst onto Courtney. Courtney goes driving in hard, straight into the forwards, coming straight onto it, not running sideways this time. Fairhurst making a break from acting half-back, knocks one off, looking for support, gets it to Whitfield. Whitfield's pass to West has gone astray, and Wigan are in dead trouble now. And they're having to backpedal, difficulty here there. Pendlebury's across. Bad timing of passes there, gave the ball back to Castleford, and once more it's Castleford on the attack. Beardmore turning and twisting, gets it onto James. James driving in hard, taken by O'Neill and by Fairhurst. Horton waiting for the play of the ball to Connell. Connell trying to bash his way over the Wigan line. Case goes in, helped by Cannon. Horton, Beardsmore, Johnson doing a run around, a long one, and once again Stevenson's in very, very quickly, but the pass has managed to be completed. Loose forward, turned back inside, dragging his way forward. Ferguson forcing them back inside and closing the overlap. Beardmore, now there's a big overlap on this wing here. And they've knocked on with the line wide open. All Finch had to do was take that ball. Wigan stretched very, very thinly. And he's knocked it over the dead ball line, so it is a tap from the Wigan 25. Castleford dropped a lot of ball near the Wigan line. Otherwise, this could have been quite a big score. As it is, it's still Castleford 4, Wigan 0. So Neil gives it to Case. Case trying to drag his way. Crowd not very pleased with that, thought something more should have come. Potter now taking them on. Wigan at the moment playing one-man rugby. Potter went in very strongly there, bounced two of them off, came back at them. O'Neill waiting for the play of the ball. Turned inside to West. West coming striding, trying to get his way up to the halfway line. O'Neill to Fairhurst, not moving onto the ball. Cannon taking it, standing still, puts in a long raking kick behind the defence, and Ferguson really moving for that, following it up. But Cannon has pushed Castleford back to 10 yards from their own line. Almost half an hour of the first half gone. However, it will be Castleford to feed and Castleford with a loose head, so the odds are that Castleford in their own 25 will come away with possession. As the forwards go over, referee standing on the narrow side of the scrum each time. The ball goes in, quickly out. Finch coming through between the scrum half and the standoff. And Castleford decide to come straight down the middle when there was a big gap over on this right wing. Keeping it very tight in the forwards. Joyner going back inside, giving Wigan time to cover and seal the gap. Horton to Johnson. Johnson holding it. On to James. James managed to get his pass in. On to Johnson. Johnson slips it very nicely. On to Beardmore. Beardmore running wide looking for support. And Edwards goes across and smothers him. Castleford looking very effective as it goes to Johnson. Johnson a long wide pass. Out to the wingman Finch. Finch going for the line. Burst through. Edwards tattle. Edwards too strong for Edwards. Edwards got to him, couldn't take him. And Finch finished very, very strongly to make it after half an hour's play. Castleford 8, Wigan 0. And Finch went straight through Sean Edwards there. Castleford all round looking a much more powerful, more strong, more penetrative side than Wigan. And in the attacking play, Wigan are not in the hunt at all. The ball seems to have to leisurely go through 3 or 4 pairs of hands before anybody makes any effort to move forward. And once again, the kick has gone wide. So 2 tries, 8 points to Castleford. Nothing on the board yet for Wigan. Wigan still being whitewashed. And one wonders how long they can soak up this very, very strong pressure that Castleford is subjecting them to. The last 20 minutes could well start to tell its tale. As Pendlebury, Wigan have changed their minds. We're going to work a little move there, didn't come off, and it will be Pendlebury. Tries a long low one, bounces very nicely for Castleford. Coming away strongly, O'Neill and Case going to the tattle. Horton waiting for the play of the ball to Ward. Ward, big strong forward. Courtney misses him, and he managed to slip the ball, and that's Wigan's trouble. They're taking these forwards on, and they're still managing to get rid of the ball. Can't smother the man at all. Comes to Johnson. Johnson on to Connell. Connell going back inside. And eventually he is smothered. Horton to Beardmore. Beardmore to Johnson. Johnson turns it back inside. On to James, and James is tattled just inside the Wigan half. Horton again. Going through from acting half-back. Penbury takes him low. Ferris goes upstairs, and that's the 5th tattle. As Beardmore hoists an awkward one for Edwards. Got Snow on it. And Beardmore's the first there, knocks it back to Finch. Finch coming inside, he's caught in the sixth tackle. So Wigan should have possession. O'Neill and Wigan standing around, nobody seeming to want the ball there as the acting half-back's driven back towards his own line, and Wigan standing around in a very untidy, disorganised heap at the moment as Ferguson goes acting half-back, decides he'll try and make a run against 5 yards of ground before he's smothered by two Castleford forwards. Cannon inside to West. West goes driving in and he's smothered under yellow jerseys. O'Neill to Pendlebury. Pendlebury going forward, looking for someone to give it to. Can't get rid of it. Wigan looking very ineffective in attack at the moment. Nobody seems to be able to get them moving as a long pass comes to Cannon. Cannon changes direction, decides he's going to come back in the middle, and he gets back to exactly where the last tackle was. And that's Wigan's fifth tackle. Now they haven't got a kicker as it comes to Fairhurst. Fairhurst tries a left-footed one, at least it's gone deep. Roach having to go back for it. Roach coming up strongly, faced by Whitfield and Ramsdale. Having to hang on to the ball as Ramsdale sensibly tried to get it off him. Rookley, the full-back, inside to Beardmore. Beardmore onto England, and England's dropped it. O'Neill can't take it clean. He managed to get it at the second attempt. Fairhurst onto Edwards. Edwards going to try and make a run and runs into trouble. Players maul away at him and bounce him down. To West. West coming up to the 25 line. Can't get rid of the ball, he's lost it. And Castleford quickly onto the attack. Turning inside. Gets away from Courtney. Edwards goes across, holding him, and there's nobody coming in to complete the tackle. And Wigan push back into their own 25. Goes to Johnson, to Beardmore. Beardmore on to Joyner. Look at the overlap on that far left wing. Always keep the ball moving. Second row man turned inside and held just short of the Wigan line. James decided he was going to come back inside. Penalty to Castleford for Wigan line on at the play of the ball. James takes the tap, long one. Joyner doing the run around with Beardmore. Beardmore's turning back inside, and this time it's Castleford who've lost ground in possession. Horton to Johnson. Johnson holding it. Long pass onto the centre. Centre having been forced back inside. Whitfield hangs onto him grimly. Crossing back to Roach. Roach to Johnson. Wigan waiting for him as Johnson dummies, and he's well wrapped up that time. Joyner causing Wigan a lot of trouble. Joyner don't know what he's doing. Got away nicely, and Wigan have intercepted it. Stevenson gets the loose ball. Potter having to bring the ball away. Wigan line out, not yet organised inside their own 25. Goes to West. West driving in hard, just lets the ball go. It's been picked up fortunately for Wigan there. The ball was just dropped backwards, and Penbury managed to take it. O'Neill dummying, bringing Courtney inside. Courtney's just let the ball go. Wigan are trying to give passes that just aren't on. Bit of desperation in Wigan's play as Connell comes inside, taken by West and Case. Beardmore waiting for the play of the ball. Out to Johnson, does a run around, back to Beardmore. Beardmore sees a gap, gets through it, onto the loose forward, and Whitfield comes over to knock him down to the ground. James behind the play of the ball, a long pass on to Johnson. Johnson dumming, has dropped the ball. The referee said it's all right. He comes to Horton. Horton gets his pass in and they're over the line, and Wigan desperately trying to push them back. Graham West right on the try line. I think he's on his back. The referee's going to give a 5-metre scrum. Yes, he was on his back. West very strong there in defence, holding him up, won't let him get the ball down. Fairhurst to feed. Wigan looked all over the pack there as Fairhurst goes in for the ball. Referee says it's all right. Played to Pendlebury. Pendlebury having to bring it away from acting half-back, clearing the danger zone there. Castleford fighting like man to get possession of him. A penalty to Wigan for lying on. Connell, the prop forward, penalised again, and Pendlebury in some distress as to what happened in that tackle. About 4 minutes to go to half time. Whitfield and a kick for touchdown towards the Castleford left wing. Bit of mauling and thrutching and heaving went on in the tackle there as Pendlebury been trying to clear his lines, and Connell hung on to him. Quite a delay here for this attention to Pendlebury. Pendlebury threatening him, and Connell just waves back to him. Pendlebury not at all happy with what happened in that tackle. Whitfield changes his mind, takes a tap, long pass out to Cannon. Cannon a short one. Potter dragging his way, can't get rid of the ball, arms smothered around him. To Fairhurst. Fairhurst to Cannon, there's nobody moved forward yet. Now Potter decides he'll go. Lets the ball go back and he's lost it. Another pass that wasn't on, ball loose. And it's Ward, and there's trouble going on here. Oh, tempers frayed. I think it was as a result of that last effort. I think a lot of that was players pulling other players off, other players fighting. And Pendlebury's got sent off. And unfortunately Connell gave a rather rude two-fingered gesture. I can't see whether he's been sin-binned or sent off permanently. And John Pendlebury's not at all happy about that incident. So Wigan now in a lot of trouble. Played short-handed here the last time they played through injuries. Straight kick, just slightly to the right of the post, not very much. Ian Moore going to attempt to kick the penalty goal. Well, I wonder if it was a case of John Pendlebury trying to dispense justice as well as Judd. Probably very niggled after the injury received in the last tackle. However, it now means that we're going to have to play a man short. Ian Moore not been so good with his kickings. Lift that high, and it's not a good kick. Edwards takes it cleanly in the in-goal area. Hands off one ball, under the wrong arm really for handing off there. Having a bit of trouble. Potter waiting for the play of the ball, having to bring it away. And he's trying to hand off with his arm across his body. O'Neill to Case. Case driving in. Disappears under three bodies. Fairhurst, a low, slow lob pass. Cannon, a little overhead kick with a cover there. How's it going to bounce? Bounces awkwardly. And Ferguson, and that's a knock on. And Ferguson certainly shifted there, went like a rocket. No one other calling him Rocket Man. He really moved down that wing and forced Rookley to knock on, so almost on the stroke of half time. And there goes the hooter. Wigan not going to get the advantage of that knock on, and the players go off to loud boos. Wigan going to have to come out to man short with a half time score. Castleford 8, Wigan 0. I didn't see any signal.
Although he'll have to, John. It's only sin-bin for technical offences.
Oh yes,
isn't it?
yeah. Well, it's right to do that.
Yeah.
I got sick of that last year. Fellas banjoing and having it given a 10-minute rest. And so we're going to face with a very high mountain to climb in this second half. 8 points down and a man short, and have been playing second fiddle to Castleford for the whole of the first half. Castleford looking much stronger, much faster, more cohesive, as Whitfield restarts the second half. Didn't put a lot of bant into that. It's a no man's land kick, giving Castleford possession. Wigan go in to hold them in the 25. Forwards again, powering the way forward. Big, strong lad, this number 8 for Castleford, Connell. Horton moving it across. James turning back inside. Ward, rather. Ward who made the last run. Here comes the kick behind the Wigan defence. Going to roll dead. Long, long kick. So it'll be a tap from the Wigan 25. O'Neill to Case. On his own in the wilderness. O'Neill, now Potter decides he's going to have a go. Graham West this time following, but Potter, ball tucked underneath his arm, the ball dies. Comes to Fairhurst. Fairhurst moves it onto Cannon, just handed on. Edwards onto Stevenson. Stevenson beats one. Good run by Stevenson, powerful run there. Very good centre run indeed there by Stevenson. Ferguson inside to Cannon. Cannon just hands it on to Fairhurst. Fairhurst to Whitfield. Whitfield holding it. Turns a bad pass inside, which Fairhurst does well to get. Threw that ball, not looking anywhere, and it hit the ground. As so much of Wigan's slip passes does this time, Whitfield decides perhaps he's going to try and make a bit of amends for that. Wigan have gone from 125 to the other. That's the fifth tattle. Fairhurst going to lob a high one, following it. Full back, drop the ball. This should be Wigan's, and West is over. Well, that was slack play by Castleford and alert play by Wigan. They've followed it up well. Not a classy try, but it brings them right back in the game. And Wigan brought that right from their own 25. Just 2 minutes of the second half gone. And I said Wigan had to climb a high mountain. They've gone halfway up it in 2 minutes. Right back into the game. Set up by a lovely run by Stevenson down the right wing. Completely wrong-footed the defence just outside his own 25 and took it right down almost to the other 25 before eventually he was caught. And from the resultant move and the up and under, Wigan good backing up, good following up of the ball after the kick. Caught Castleford at 6s and 7s, and so 3 minutes of the second half gone. Castleford 8, Wigan 4, and Wigan with a none too difficult kick to take. Slightly to the left of the post. Whitfield sets it up on his tee of sand. Taking a lot of care. Castleford have been let down by their goal kicking. They've missed 3 kicks, 3 simple kicks. Very important kick this for Whitfield. And it's a poor effort, very poor effort indeed. Seemed very nervous about taking it. Was hurt a short while ago in that last run that he made. He got banjoed in the tattle and may have unsettled him a little bit, but it wasn't a particularly good effort at goal. So 8-4 then, 2 tries to 1. And it shows that Wigan still have some sting in the tail, got some fire in the bellies. They came back very well for that try. Trying a deep one. Cannon decides you have it, gives it to Ferguson. They're having trouble pulling him down. Determined run, and they're still hanging on to him, and they've got the penalty. Horton and Johnson hanging on to Stevenson. Somebody's opened his mouth, and that's another penalty. And we're going to need to get full advantage from this. Stevenson having a bit of a go at Fern, quite right. We're better playing down here than taking the tap in their half and just outside our own 25. Ferguson with a heavily strapped left knee, but it doesn't seem to have hindered his running at all. As O'Neill to Courtney, Courtney ploughing in as ever, bounces off one, slips it nicely to O'Neill, onto Potter, well out onto Stevenson, Stevenson again making another devastating run, and Castleford letting him know he's been tackled as 4 of them go into him. O'Neill gets it to Cannon, Cannon dumbing with the ball, decided he's going to try and cut through for once. He's put down on the 25 line. Wigan now full of spirit and full of fire as O'Neill moves it inside to Fairhurst. Fairhurst going to do the run around. On to West, West coming hard and straight as the ball knocked out of his hand. Fairhurst following up, managed to regain possession. O'Neill to Potter, Potter holding it, trying to go through, gets it onto Ramsdale, Ramsdale beats his man, puts in a little overhead kick, but intercepted by Joyner. Case is up there to take him, nearly came off. Castleford now trying to clear their own 25. That's a strong run by wingman Roach. Castleford, Connell coming, powering in, Fairhurst and Cannon go in, big man to take. Beardmore, and he's a big lad for a scrum half. Going through, gets it onto Ward, Ward coming back inside, Wigan grabbing at him, and he manages to slip the ball. This is the strength, West gets it in, and Wigan go in to smother them. West in again, and Stevenson, Stevenson having a good game. Beardmore not played the ball correctly. Beardmore throws the ball away in disgust. It's a let off for Wigan. Wigan in possession to Case, Case onto Whitfield. Whitfield brings Ramsdale inside and he knocks on, and Wigan have wasted the possession. Jimmy Fairhurst again taking a tap penalty when I feel it'd have been better settling it down and taking the longer kick and playing them down near their 25. There's already been a little bit of an altercation between 2 of the Wigan players about this. Will be Beardmore to put the ball in and probably Beardmore to get it out. And so it is as Beardmore breaks from the pack. A long pass to Joyner. Joyner gets his pass in. Edwards can't take his man, not strong enough. And it's Stevenson again. Wraps his man up, smothers him completely in the tattle. Comes on to Joyner. Joyner on to England. England turning, managed to get the ball back inside. On to James. Wigan going in. It's taking 3 of them to smother him. Horton waiting for the play of the ball. On to Connell, Connell coming driving forward, Case hanging on to him. 3 Wigan and Stevenson comes in to complete the tattle. Horton to Beardmore, Beardmore on to Johnson, back to Beardmore. Finch has come inside, gets the ball back, and Castleford lost ground there as Wigan moved in quickly. Roach waiting for the play of the ball, dancing, jinking his way. Wigan holding, managed to get rid of the ball from nearly off the ground. Beardmore brings it inside onto Rookley, Rookley going strongly. Castleford trying to keep this ball moving. Joyner holding it. A long pass out to left centre Marchant. Marchant going hard. Stevenson takes him from behind and holds on to him. And that's the 6th tattle, so Wigan will have the ball 10 yards from their own line. Plays it to Edwards. Edwards trying to bring it away. Plays it safe, hangs on to it. Ferguson gone across for acting half back. Again, 10 yards of ground, comes in powerfully, and they're having a job holding him. Very strong run by Ferguson. Plays it to himself and gains another 5 yards of ground. Bit of mauling going on in the tattle as it comes to West. West coming in hard up to the halfway line. O'Neill waiting for the play of the ball. O'Neill going through from acting half-back. Out to Fairhurst, Fairhurst to Cannon. Cannon changing direction, turning and twisting. Puts in a kick behind the defence. And that's a good kick. Finds touch 5 or 6 yards from the line. Wigan having a lot more of this second half territorially than Castleford. Playing with great verve, great fire and great determination. Particularly as there's still a man short. Pendlebury off, there's no more sin bin for thumping. Ball's coming out to Beardmore. Sees a gap onto Finch. And he's knocked to the ground again. Good tackling by David Stevenson. He's had a good game so far this match. Beardmore moving it out left. There's a big gap over on the left if he can get the ball moving. Whitfield coming in to take the loose forward. He's dropped the ball. Gratefully picked up by Edwards. Edwards trying to jink his way through. Wigan in possession on the Castleford 25. Can they turn it into points? Short pass on to Case. Case turns it inside, and West can't take it clean, and it's snapped up by Castleford. Marchant caught in possession. Comes on to Johnson. Johnson a long pass to Connell. Connell well tackled by Potter, but he gets up again, looking to get rid of the ball. Very strong in the arms. Stevenson comes in to smother him. Johnson. Long pass out onto Ward. Ward trying to come through the middle. Followed and skull dragged by Graham West. Horton. On to Joyner. Joyner turning it back inside. On to James. James running strongly. Horton waiting for the play of the ball. Beardmore holding it. Long pass out to the full back who's linked up and running strongly. And it's Case eventually who forces him to the ground. Horton out to Johnson. Johnson dumming to kick. Puts a little kick in. Knocked on. Wigan going to be penalised, are they, for obstruction? Yes. Said they pulled him back as he put the kick through in. Straight kick. 10 minutes of the second half gone. Beardmore. Once again, absolutely straight this. 30 yards out. No need for any obstruction there, really. Wigan had plenty of men around that ball to drop on that little kick through. Very tall lad for a scrum half, Beardmore. Lifts it high and through. So the score after 11 minutes of the second half is Castleford 10, Wigan 4. After a lot of attack there by Wigan, a little bit unfortunate to be pushed back and to given away 2 points. Whitfield restarting. Tries a deep one this time, taken cleanly by Rookley. Well tackled by O'Neill. Horton moving it across. Ward coming in powerfully. Graham West comes in to help Jimmy Fairhurst. Horton onto Beardmore. Beardmore turning inside. And to get rid of the ball onto Horton. Cannon groping at him, grappling at him. Manages to get hold of his shirt and stop him. Finch on to kick. Edwards plenty of time. Takes it well on his 25. Has Ramsdale with him. Dummies nicely, use Ramsdale. Ramsdale sensibly coming inside, keeping away from the touchline. Wanting to play it through quickly. He's being mauled and thrust about. And the referee's seen it. Ridiculous, that play. There's stupid penalties to give away. And he would not let Ramsdale get up to play it there. Whitfield to put it into touch. Halfway between the halfway line and the Castleford 25. O'Neill to Fairhurst. Long one to Cannon. There's nobody gone forward yet. Whitfield lobs one to Stevenson. Nearly an infirmary pass. Does well to keep hold of that. Now it's Case, and Case will run at them. Lobs it inside to Ferguson. Ferguson being taken by Joyner as he receives the ball. Played back to Edwards, to Fairhurst, to Cannon. Cannon holding it. Turning and twisting. Comes back inside, looking to get rid of it onto Case. Case onto Ferguson. Ferguson trying to beat his man, but Joyner's across there. Just managing to keep him the field of play. O'Neill to Edwards. Edwards to Cannon. Cannon to Courtney. Courtney running hard. Short pass onto West. West nearly through there. Arms smothered, can't get rid of the ball. Wigan were moving on to that nicely then. West plays it to himself onto O'Neill. O'Neill jinking, lets it go to Cannon. Cannon changes direction again onto Case. Case going hard and straight, can see the line. Still battling his way forward, a yard short, and just can't quite reach over. And we're going to turn it on, and that's the 5th tackle. O'Neill to Cannon. Cannon holding it, switches it back to O'Neill. O'Neill a bad one for Edwards to take, and all he can do is fall on it. The referee says we're back to 1. That's lucky for Wigan, as Stevenson decides he's going to make a run. Comes through strongly. Wigan very badly bunched at the moment as it comes to Courtney. He's going to have to go on his own. There's no Wigan line out. Managed to get it to West. West gets it onto Ferguson. Ferguson battling his way over, and he's hurled back from the line. And this is exciting stuff from Wigan, as Wigan really pile on the pressure now. 6 points behind, right on the Castleford line. O'Neill out to West. West going to try and drag his way over with those big long arms of his. Gets it back, kicked back by Case, picked up by Ferris. Jinking Jimmy, gets it inside to Courtney. Courtney smothered, can't get rid of the ball. Ferris saying, calm it down, calm it down. O'Neill going through from acting half-back. Gets it back to Courtney. Courtney a long one onto Cannon. Cannon puts an overhead kick here. How's it going to bounce? Too far. And then dead in the in-goal area. Well, Wigan really turned it on. Gave the crowd a good drill there for that last 5 minutes. 15 minutes of the second half gone, and Wigan turned it on well. They're saying they're a man short. Horton. And Courtney buried him with that one. Connell coming in hard now. West going across. Wigan going in hard into the tattle. Hard graft for these lads with 1 man short. Lobbed past there. Goes out onto Ward. Ward trying to come through. And Case being penalised for hanging on. Kershaw been very keen on this afternoon. And it's Finch coming over to kick for touch. Makes absolutely sure, finds touch 10 yards inside the Wigan half. Horton to restart to Johnson. Johnson to Connell, comes driving in. Case takes him low down and buries him. Horton again to England. England coming strongly onto the ball. Graham West puts his shoulder into him, and O'Neill completes the tattle. Johnson switching it with Beardmore. Beardmore holding it out to Rookley. Rookley well tattled, classically tattled by Ferguson. Ball's played back to Finch. Finch going inside, going for the line. O'Neill takes him. Now it's Castleford hot on the attack. On to Beardmore. Beardmore to Johnson. Johnson to Joyner. Joyner turning it inside to Ward. Ward coming very strongly. Batters off Courtney, but Courtney managed to hang on. The ball's gone loose. Who's going to get up with it? A lot of bodies on the floor, and it's Wigan in possession. Jimmy Ferris having to come away with it on his own. Good strong clearing run that by Ferris from acting half-back position, as he was hampered with players in the line who shouldn't have been. Now it's Edwards trying to make a run, trying to make a breakthrough. Bounced down by Marchant. Stevenson inside onto Whitfield. Whitfield easily upended by Horton. Comes to Cannon. Cannon changing direction again, holding it. Long pass on to Ramsdale. Ramsdale did well to take that one. Brings it over the halfway line. Cannon to Stevenson. Stevenson puts a kick in. A dangerous kick this. It's rolling well towards the try line. And Stevenson's up there to put him. And Wigan gained a lot of ground there. Forwards coming up rather wearily though. And Wigan Case penalised for offside. And a substitution going to be made. 8 and 11 coming off for Castleford. James No, it's Courtney who's going off. It's the Wigan number 8 card that's being held up. And Brian Dunn has come on. Yeah. So James has gone off. I haven't seen yet who's come on for Castleford. A joiner tries to make a breakthrough and he's wrapped up. Comes to Johnson. And the substitute is Mountain. Dean Mountain. Nearly gave an obstruction away then. Ball played back to Horton. Horton holding it. Been knocked down by Cannon. Couldn't take it cleanly. Brought the move up. Got a boot in the head for his pains. Wigan resorting out the pack. Number 8 having gone off. Got Brian Dunn in the front row. And that looked like feed in. No, he's given feet up. Well, it was no one. There was nowhere else he could put it. Stevenson wanted to get into touch. Make sure of it. On the 25 line. Wigan 6 points behind with 20 minutes to go. Case driving in powerfully. Well tattled, good efficient tackling. O'Neill to Dunn. Now Brian Dunn's going to take them on. Puts his shoulder in. 3 players try to take him. O'Neill. Switch to Cannon. Cannon on to Edwards. Edwards running into trouble. There's bags of cover there. Ferguson trying to make a run on his own. And he's over! What a strong, powerful run from acting halfback. He was going to go for that one, and go he did. And that was a good effort by Ferguson. Well, this will delight the Wigan crowd. We've signed the good one. And no danger. Everything that he's done this afternoon has had class written all over it. Well, that's great for Wigan. Man down and coming back as they have this half. Now what can Whitfield do with this? Halfway in from the right-hand touchline. Scores 10-8. Great support coming from the Wigan spectators. Highly delighted with that try of Ferguson's. Important kick this. And it's there! No! It's gone outside. Oh dear, oh dear. Looked all the way as if it was going over, and then it just swerved outside the far upright. Wigan still fighting then, 2 points behind. 16 minutes to go. 2 tries each. Been a great second half effort this by Wigan. Beardmore. Long run up to take this. Obviously trying to belt it dead. Taken by Cannon. Cannon, who's done a lot more work this second half. Came in hard, shifted his opposition, and then lost the ball. Wigan have got it back. The referee says it's a knock-on. Scrum down then on the Wigan 25 with Castleford to feed. Been a great effort this by Wigan this second half. Gone straight through. Bit unusual that in professional rugby for it to go straight through. That was put in the second row, and Wigan have got a penalty again. Feel a bit sorry for the scrum half. There's just nowhere else for him to put it up behind the hooker, because the hooker was lying right across the pack. Wigan decided to take a tap instead of gaining ground, and they've wasted a tackle and only gained a couple of inches. Brian Dunn turning and twisting against 5 yards. Wanted to play it quickly. Ferris to Case. Case looks a lone figure out there as he goes driving forward. Goes to Graham West. Graham West running at them, coming in strongly. Wigan ploughing the way forward. O'Neill makes a good darting run from half-back, looking for support. He's had the ball knocked out of his hand. Touch judges on the field. Both touch judges on the field. Referee not aware of what's going on behind his back. O'Neill looking injured. Referee stops the clock. Now what's the referee going to decide? Doesn't seem to know whose name to call it. And he's sending Graham West off. Oh, that's real hard on Wigan's point of view. And Castleford player going off as well, the loose forward. England's gone off as well. And the referee's giving a scrum down. So it's 12 versus 11. Wigan without the captain. Two of the Wigan forwards sent off. And one of the Castleford forwards. Roach making a run here. Wigan, Deadwoods comes in, come into the line out well to take him. On to Mountain. Mountain trying to come through. Well taken by David Stevenson. And he's going to get penalised for putting him down again. The players should know by now that Kershaw's watching this very carefully this afternoon. Wigan player gave him another little dump. Finch finds touch on the 25 line. About 10-11 minutes to go as Horton comes up to take the tap. Gives it to Ward, big strong lad. O'Neill takes him. Case comes over to help complete the tattle. Horton to Mountain. Mountain trying to go through and Ferguson wraps him up. Horton trying to go through from acting half-back, and Wigan forwards let him run a long way before they go to meet him. Johnson waiting for the play of the ball. Long pass to Beardmore. Beardmore onto Joyner, and Joyner's plucked out of the air by Stevenson. Mountain trying to go through, turns it back to Beardmore. Beardmore managed to get his pass in. Whitfield trying to force his man onto the outside, and it's turned back inside and been knocked down by Wigan. However, going to be Castleford to feed, and Castleford haven't lost one this afternoon against the Head. Well, they've lost one, I beg your pardon. Ten yards out from the Wigan line. Beardmore feeds and Wigan have won it, but Wigan have been penalised for feet up. So Castleford get the possession near the Wigan line. Can Wigan hold them out here? Beardmore takes the tap. And Wigan penalised again for not going the 10 yards back. So this is an easy one. Beardmore, a long pass out, with an overlap as Ruckley misses the ball, and surely that's a knock-on. Stevenson across very, very well to take Fenton. Had a good game, David Stevenson, this afternoon. And a lot of good, effective work. So it'll be Wigan to feed the ball, probably needing their Wigan substituting. O'Neill, the hooker, coming off. Now who's going to hook for Wigan as Brian Jouliffe comes on. Wigan without the hooker. And Jouliffe is having to go hooker. They're lucky if they get this one now, Wigan. They're being pushed back. Ball's loose. Referee surely order a re-scrum. Be a bit of confusion now with Wigan, with neither a number 8 or a number 9 in the front row. Wigan only packing 4 forwards. Packs all over the place and penalised for incorrect feeding. Horton takes the tap, trying to go on his own. Case takes him. Now it's Connell driving in for the line, and Wigan wait for this big man mounting. Johnson behind the play. More trouble. More trouble. Case looking as if he's indicating he's been bitten. And he retaliated, of course, and Castleford with a penalty right underneath the post. Well, that's very bad behaviour if he has been bitten. Rugby's a hard enough game without resorting to that sort of tactic. I think Connell's going to have a headache tomorrow morning. He got the holy water on him and it's not being very effective. Minutes ticking away, about 8 minutes to go. Easy kick, right underneath the post. But Wigan can feel pride in the performance of this second half. Been a really excellent effort. They'll not get many harder games than this one, and they've done really well this half. And Moore puts it over to take it now to 12 points to 8. But at least this half, Wigan have got 2 tries. David Stevenson geeing the team up. About 7 minutes to go. Still 4 points behind. 2 tries each, but Castleford with 2 goals on the board. Wigan not managed to pop one over. Whitfield from the centre. Not deep enough. Easy one for Rookley. Rookley coming up to his 25 line. And that's nice to see where Wigan rushed him back. And penalty for Connell, joining in the argument. Wigan 4 points behind, needing a try. Taking the tap, and they haven't gone the 10 yards back. Cannon trying to play him on his own there. And here's Ferguson trying to get round them. Looking very, very strong. Managed to get the ball onto Juliff. Juliff knocks off one. Going for the line. Can't get rid of it. It's been intercepted and knocked on. It's come back to Castleford. Referee said it's been knocked on. And there are a lot of weary players on this team, getting up very, very slowly. It's very, very hot and very muggy out there. Well, Wigan nearly made it there. They were nearly through for the equaliser. Packing 4 forwards. They got a problem on here and no hooker. Chances of getting this ball as slim as Ferris puts it in. Comes out to Castleford. Joyner coming away. Coming very, very strong. A powerful run by Joyner. Managed to get his pass on. Ferguson overhauling him. Rookley going inside. Wigan a backpedal there. Joyner set that up to Moore. Moore going on his own. Turning it inside onto Finch. Gets away from Edwards. Juliff has him underneath the post. Mountain waiting for the play. As Finch tries to bat it, he's lost the ball. Referee says play on. Oh, and the referee's given a 25, and Wigan are very lucky with that, as it was Wigan who made it dead. Unless he's given a knock on over the line. Yes, very lucky Wigan there. Wigan knocked, I feel it should have been under the post. However, it's fortunate for Wigan. As Case comes in, hard grafting forward as ever. About 5 minutes to go. Stevenson to Brian Dunn. Dunn trying to come through there. Wigan looking very, very weary. as Ferris decides he's going to try and make a break. Trying to dance his way over the halfway line. Lobs a wild one to Whitfield. Whitfield gets it onto Ramsdale. Ramsdale dumbing, coming inside. Good run by Ramsdale. And Ferguson very eager over there near the play of the ball. Wanted to get into the game. See if he can win it. As Julius puts an overhead kick here. And it's bounced for Stevenson. Stevenson going for the line, dancing his way. And he's held a yard short. Case trying to plough his way over, not got the strength. The defence is there. Stevenson, wild one, Cannon having to go back for it. Dumming trying to go through, gets it to Edwards. Edwards looking for support, turned and swung round. Wigan really trying desperately as it goes to Cannon. And a penalty to Wigan. 10 yards out from the line. They want to settle themselves here. They need a try. Cannon taking the tap, going to try and go on his own. Can't reach over the line. Now, what can Ferguson do? Ferguson gone to act in half-back. A yard out from the line. And he's knocked back. Throws the pass out. Case can't take it. And Castleford heave a great sigh of relief. Horton, the hooker, trying to come away, and Ferguson follows him across to put him down. 4 minutes to go, one try in it. As Finch tries to bust his way through, and he's knocked to the ground. Fenton waiting for the play of the ball, lobs it side to Beardmore. Castleford trying to drag the way out of the 25 line. Wigan trying to hold them there. Beardmore dummying, turning and twisting. Good tackle by Stevenson, takes Rookley. And he's hurt. Boot in the face, I think. Johnson puts a kick in behind the Wigan defence. Edwards coming over for it. Takes it cleanly, beats one, turns it inside to Furhurst. Furhurst coming hard and strong. Good run by Furhurst. Great run, in the line. Tremendous run by Jimmy Furhurst. And Wigan have got an overlap if he can play it quickly. And it's Ferguson who's going for the line. And they're offside. And they've not gone the 10 yards back as Whitfield nearly has his head knocked off. That was a very high tackle on Whitfield. Wigan wanted to take these penalties quickly, and Castleford not going back the 10 yard. Dunn takes it, tries to batter his way over. Wigan are not going to do it by battering the way, I don't feel. They're going to have to split them. As Cannon sends a long one to Case, and he's over! He's made it, he's left scores! But about 2 minutes to go. Well, what a performance by Wigan this second half. Tremendous character, tremendous determination. They've really piled into it with a man short for a good 2/3 of this game. Now can Whitfield snatch victory out of the jaws of what 2 minutes ago looked like defeat? Kicking not been so good, this could clinch it. We're almost on normal time, there will be stoppage time. And the Wigan chorus is starting up, highly delighted the way they've come back into this game. Now this is a nail-biting kick, this one. One's legs start to tremble as he comes up to take it. And it's there! They're going to have gone into the lead. It crawled over, but it's still a good 2 points. 14 points to 12, well, who would have thought it? And Castleford having to kick off. With about 2 minutes of normal time, there's been a long stoppage period. Well, if Wigan can hold on to this, it's a tremendous start to the season. Beardmore lifts a short one, coming to Potter, sure. I would think Wigan are going to stick this up the jumpers now. Going to be left to the forwards. Brian Case, safe and sure, upended, but hanging on to the ball. Ferguson going to have a go. Coming on his own, powerful running, turning inside. gets over the halfway line. The third tattle. Potter to Jurliff. Jurliff going to run at them, wanted to play in, and Jurliff's made a break. Can he make it to the corner? Tremendous run, brings it into the 25. Jurliff wanting a penalty. Potter sends it inside to Brian Dunn to Cannon. Cannon holding it, trying to go through on his own. Being smothered. That's the fifth tattle. Ferguson goes acting half-back. Cannon plays it to himself. Can he reach it? And he scored! He scored! Right in the dying seconds. They've played Castleford right into the ground. Castleford players are absolutely dead on the feet, and Wigan have come at them with spirit. And that kick of Cannon's bounced nicely for him to make it now Wigan 18, Castleford 12. And the Wigan crowd are wild with delight. Absolute delirium here on the terraces as Wigan have really banged it in this second half. A tremendous opening game this for Wigan. You can probably hear the choir singing a Hallelujah chorus they're giving. As Whitfield sets the ball up. 3 yards in from the right-hand touchline. Well, these Wigan players have deserved winning pay this afternoon. First half, they were absolutely run off the pitch altogether, and they've come back in this second half with a man short. Don't know what our coaches said to them at half-time, but they've certainly G'd them up. And that's a beauty! That's the nail up 20. They can't pull it back now. They're going to have to score twice. 20 points to 12. Hard to see what's happened. And they're for full time. And as the point says, it was a famous victory. Wonderful win by Wigan by 20 points to 12. And as the players go to the jubilant cheers of the Wigan spectators, this is John McDermott, your commentator, hoping you enjoyed the film made by your cameraman of the first match of the season with the score Castleford 12, Wigan triumphantly 20. I forgot to say the cameraman's name, Brian Worthington, and he's played a blinder too this afternoon.